Spoiler alert for the last episode, but for once, okay, maybe not for once, it's happened a couple of times, but let's just say for once, a team of mine in NHL 20 made it out of the first round of the playoffs. I cannot believe how infrequently I have been able to say that over the past few months. To the point where, yeah, maybe some of these series might be lingering on a bit, but it's because when the hell do you wave the white flag, right? Which, by the way, new series will probably start later this month after I get a bit of roster updating done. But to that point, here we are. Today. Here. Now. And we're in the second round against the Toronto Maple Leafs after beating the New York Rangers in round one. I still can't believe this isn't a draft episode. Genuinely cannot believe it. The team is performing pretty well overall. Maybe expect a little bit more out of Brody Appleby, point-wise, but it was okay. Paul Cato exceeded all expectations to the point where he's on the first line, and that does raise the question as to whether or not we should swap him and Grigorenko back. But Cato's done very well, as has Alex Holtz, excuse me, who we have had doubts over in the past. You get to the second line, Nasir Kostopoulos, fine. Vyacheslav Grigorenko, not so much. If we're going to make it past the Leafs, we need Grig to wake up. 59 goals in 82 games this past season, and nothing in the playoffs. And I'm concerned, because you look at his playoff history, 3 goals in 5 games, 5 goals in 5 games, 0 in 6, 3 in 7, and now up to this point in the playoffs, 0 in 6. Vyacheslav Grigorenko wakes up, today's going to be a very good day. He continues to be that quiet, it's going to be a rough day. Joakim Kemell doing what he does in the playoffs. He has been a consistent playoff performer, at least over the past 2 years. Okay, I mean, 27-28, good. 3 goals at least. He's done well, though. He's been pretty damn consistent. 31 points in 29 games. I mean, come on. He's been great as he continues to do what he does. Nick Ritchie, from an offensive standpoint, there's been nothing. But at the very least, he hasn't been a defensive detriment. Boris Nazarov has been fine. Samard, kind of the same thing. A little bit more point production than Ritchie. And the fourth line, doing well, given the time. The problem, of course, or the question that starts to come up is whether or not it's worth making changes, especially when you look down in the AHL and you see Len Konopka and Rudy Chovanovsky doing what they are doing thus far. How much better would they be on that third line? Maybe that's a question that's answered in this series, but hopefully not, because that would be a sign of things going poorly. Defensively, Brendan Long needs to be better. Zane Trafford, from a defensive standpoint, it could be a little bit better. Montgomery, I mean, there are some players that have to step up. Shockingly, the Stamkos-Melnyk pairing's done well. And then you get to the goaltending, where Dominic Grosek, it's not ideal, but that .915 save percentage was enough to get us through to the second round. And actually, I do want to take a look at the stats leaders amongst goaltenders in the playoffs thus far to see how he compares. Because in fairness, that .915 might be pretty good. We're about to find out, as Peter Reynolds of the Blues is leading the way next to Noel Gundler. But let's take a look here at save percentages. So Brad Summers, a .942. Tarnqvist, who also won in the first round. So yeah, a .915 looks to be the second lowest. Oh no, Postman Kochetkov, or Kochetkov, I guess it would be. He did okay. He was middle of the road amongst goalies that made it to the second round. That had 4 wins. So he's still capable of more, though, I think is the general point that I'm trying to make. We know what this team is, though. We know that we can make changes if need be. The question is, what are we up against? Okay, it's not all bad. That top line is extremely concerning. Jesus Christmas. Christmas and Jesus. What came first? Probably Jesus. You have Zadorov on the second line next to Tanner Kaspick, who is performing at a much higher level than you'd expect a 79 overall to do on the second line, but he is next to a 35-year-old Mitch Marner. Then you have Höglander, McLeod, and Henry, Benson, Mishmash, and Petrus Palmu. It's not an amazing offense, but it's good enough to get to where we are. And then defensively, this is a winnable series. Belfour and Hughes. It's funny that they have a Belfour, of course. But Belfour, Hughes, Werenski at this point still okay. This is a winnable series. The goaltender. A struggling Braxton Postma. They have no injuries, of course. This is a winnable series. They have good pieces on the team. So do we. Good piece on offense, good piece on defense, solid goaltender. This is a winnable series. And in terms of looking at the overall, yeah, the game agrees. We have the advantage in every category. The defense is close. We were favorites against the Rangers, of course, based off of the regular season standings. Even though it felt like to win a playoff series, we had our backs against the wall. And now, we are very much favorites to beat Toronto. As I wanted to double check who the leaders were on this team, at least in terms of letters. I feel like Zane Trafford needs some respect. Greg, maybe losing a letter will smarten you up. Let's see. You know what? Alex Holtz, too. This is a motivation tactic. You've done well, but Kamel now gets a letter. And if we lose, then people will be like, you shouldn't have changed the letters. Maybe. You'd be right. Let's get this series underway. Almost 7 minutes into this video. Let's do it. Second round. I almost forgot what the hell it was called. Second round of the playoffs. Game 1. First period. And the advantage to the Mariners. Paul Cato is a playoff performer. Power play goal. Doubled him up in shots. A little bit more so than that. We have a 1-0 lead. Second period, we have a 2-0 lead. Vyacheslav Grigorenko. Hello, sir. Welcome to the playoffs. It's happy times. We're happy to have you here. Thanks for showing up. We're up 2-0. 10-shot edge. 2-0 on the board. Grigorenko scored a goal. The end is nigh. We go to the third. Can we close out this game? Can we hold on to the lead? Power play for the Leafs. Please kill it. Oh my god, it's like 17 minutes. We killed it off though. 9 minutes left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Dominic! Don't do this to me, Dom. Joakim Kamel, you're my hero. A little bit of a scare as Farmer gets a goal with just under 4 minutes left, but Joakim Kamel seals the deal, and it's a 3-1 victory for the Mariners. We take Game 1 and continue to perform at a high level on home ice, although we were dominated in that third period. Grosek held that door, and Grigorenko woke the hell up. A 3-point night for Grig, and a 1-0 series lead for the Mariners, looking to be the first team in NHL 20 for me on the YouTubes to make it to the conference final, I do believe. Obviously, the undrafted challenge went nowhere, so we don't have to worry about them. I just don't remember if this Draft to Glory team made it to the conference final. I don't think they did. Oh boy, let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. Game 2, we're going to jump right into it. No need to make changes, but our lineup performed at such a high level. Let's do this. First period, 1-0 lead for the Leafs. It's Farmer again, this time on the power play, even in shots, but the Leafs with the advantage. Second period, and it's deja vu. Farmer scores again. This guy cannot be stopped. And the roles are reversed here. A 2-0 lead for Toronto heading into the third period. We were able to hold on to our lead. Can they hold on to theirs is the question. And Zigra makes it 3. That'll do it. Power play chance. We get it right back. Grigorenko scores again, but is it too little too late? 9.5 minutes left. Paul Cato scores. We're back in it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Overtime. Too little, too late. And the Leafs take game 2 on the road by the score of 3-2. Farmer continues to be dominant for Toronto. Grigorenko and Cato. It's just that goal from Trevor Zegras that just killed us in the third period. Postma had a phenomenal game for them as well, which isn't surprising given his overall. You would expect a goalie of that caliber to be able to steal a team a game in the playoffs. You would expect it. Doesn't always happen. But we are tied at 1 apiece. All but one of the final 4 series are currently at a 1-1 split, though, so no reason to be panicked just yet. Still not going to make changes, but if we lose this one, we might have to think about it. It's Game 3, the first in this series to be played in Toronto. Let's see what we can do. First period. Well, that's not ideal now, is it? Zadorov, Zegras, Farmer, again. 3-0 lead, 3 goals on 8 shots. Dominik Grosek lays an egg, and I am very tempted to give Philippi Dag all the road games because Grosek cannot do anything at home or away from home. Second period, we get one back, Joakim Kamel. But is it too little too late as we go to the third period? We need a relatively quick goal if we are going to stand a chance. Power play for the Leafs. It's killed off, but we're running real low on time here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Benson with the late one. Is it too little too late? It is. Back-to-back 3-2 losses in this series. The Leafs win Game 3 and take a 2-1 series lead off of the back of a dominant first period that we could just not dig ourselves out of now that Postma is playing extremely well. All 3 games in this series have been pretty damn close. By the way, shout out to the Glasgow Clan. They are moving on to the conference final, taking on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, which is ridiculous. But for now, we focus on this team, and I gotta be honest again, Grosek has been brutal on the road. I'm super tempted to play Dag on the road. I might try it. It's crazy, but it just might work. Brody Appleby has been a complete non-factor in this series. But I don't know what changes I want to potentially make here. Reunite, you know? What if? That would require a player change. That third line still isn't doing that bad. Or that badly. Proper English, of course. I do wonder. I'm going to be dealing with a -1 unless we change up a player type. If we put Appleby with Grigorenko and Kamel, who have played very well together, we'll see what happens, because Nasir Kostopoulos hasn't done much from that offensive perspective. So I think we change Alex Holtz to a playmaker. See what happens from there. That third line, again, defensively, they've been okay. It's just the point totals aren't exactly there. Excuse me. And unfortunately, that top pairing is struggling a little bit. I'm going to put Stamkos with Stewart. No, I'm not. I'm going to bump up Stamkos and Melnick, and we're going to put Long and Stewart together. So the only change is to move Alex Holtz to a playmaker, just to make sure that we're not dealing with negative chemistry on that second line. But Holtz has been quiet. Appleby's been quiet. It makes sense in a way to shake up the top 6 and try to get more people going. Again, with Grigorenko and Kamel working well together as of late, makes all the sense in the world to keep them on the same pairing. And really, now's the moment of truth in what could win or lose me this series. Do I play Philippi Dag on the road? Because even dating back to that Rangers series, we struggled on the road. You look at Dominik Grosek, Game 3, 7-4. I mean, granted, we closed out the series, and we closed out the series in New York, but we're sticking with Grosek. We're sticking with him. This is a huge game. We fall down 3-1 in this series. I don't know if I like my chances. And I know bumping Paul Cato down to the second line is a pretty big risk because he's been playing so well. Joakim Kamel scores extremely early, and Trevor Zegras got it right back less than a minute later. We'll sim the rest of the first period where we went off. Kamel scores, Grigorenko scores, that new top line already showing up, and Paul Cato might have been dropped to the second line. He still scored a goal. He's been our best player in this postseason. It's a 3-1 lead after 20 minutes. We get to Postma early. Now, all the pressure's on Grosek. Can he show up? Can he shut the door? Second period. Just so you know, there was no jump cut there to emphasize the silence. That's just me face palming. Don't worry about it. 5-4 Toronto. Dominic Grosek falls apart. Luke Hughes on the power play. Nick Henry. Samard gets one back. Farmer is able to tie it, and then Luke Hughes on the power play again. It's 5-4. We go to the third, somehow trailing. And we tie it almost immediately. 55 seconds in, Vyacheslav Grigorenko. We're tied at 5. Power play, Sir Kostopoulos makes it 6-5. Now the power play goes to waste. Two strong goaltenders, both struggling. Can we walk away with the win that we need? 2 minutes left, and the Leafs tie it. We're going to overtime at 6 apiece. My God. I will never start Dominic Grosek on the road again unless he proves that he deserves the chance to start on the road. It's going to be Philippe Dague if this goes to 6. Unbelievable. We go to overtime. Again, I'm only going to jump in elimination games because otherwise this can take way too long and make episodes much longer than they should be. So as far as who wins it, I'm going to say Brody Appleby. I'm not even going to predict anybody for the Leafs. Brody Appleby is going to do the impossible and actually score a goal. Overtime. Who's it going to be? Will it be a quick winner? Are we destined for double overtime? Power play! It's Zane Trafford. The defenseman. We haven't seen much scoring from the defense in this playoff stretch thus far. I was going to say series and tried to turn it into stretch. Just didn't work. We haven't seen much scoring from our defenseman. Zane Trafford changes that. The leader of this defense on the power play ends this game 7-6 final. My God, Joakim Kamel, you beautiful man. We are tied at 2 games apiece, and somehow we survived the Dominic Grosek on the road experience. 3-1s across the board in every other series except our own. And it sets us up for a very interesting Game 5 where there are questions. I'm not going to make any changes to the lineup, but what version of Dominic Grosek is going to show up? That is the key. Game 5. Here we go. Who's going to take control of the series and have a chance to end it? Game 6 back in Toronto. First period advantage. Meredith Brody Appleby actually scored. Holy crap. Oh, man, it's like Milan Lucic scoring, except Appleby puts up a shitload of points. I know Lucic scored last night. That's why I mentioned it. I watched the goal, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Luch. Way to go. You did something other than mug somebody. Appleby scores. Nearly doubled him up in shots. We have the lead early. Second period, we have the lead late. Boris Nazarov and Daniel Samard, the third line arrives. And we have a 3-0 lead here heading into the third period of Game 5. Let's do this. Dominic Grosek, come on, man. Power play goes to waste. That's okay. But what can we do? Niels Höglander scores. I'm officially worried. Halfway through the third, Grosek, I swear to God, if you don't hold on here, please, Dominic, you son of a... You're done. Center ice goal. I can't believe this. EA, please. Like, I get it. It's just the way it's programmed. It's probably just like, oh, well, just pick the spot and said center ice. But, oh, sweet merciful Jesus. Really? We blow a 3-0 lead. 3-goal lead evaporates in a series involving the Leafs. Shocker. And we go to overtime of Game 5. This is outrageous. I don't know who the hell is going to win it. Brody Appleby. Milan Lucic is going to score the winner. Power play. Oh, we're screwed. You don't waste a power play in overtime and go to win. It never happens. I'll be so happy to be wrong, but it never happens. Are we destined for double OT here? It's going late. Makes me almost want to jump in if it's going to double OT, but we're saving it. Brody Appleby! No fucking way. Oh, do you believe in miracles? Brody Appleby with a 2-goal game. He starts it. He ends it. We survive. Jesus, talk about games from last night. We are the Chicago Blackhawks against the Boston Bruins. Brody Appleby, noted goal scorer. A 3-2 series lead belongs to the Mariners. We are 1 win away with 2 opportunities to end this series. We are 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Final. Brody Appleby scored 4 goals all season. He has 52 career goals in the regular season and 574 career games. Those are his first 2 playoff goals in 34 games. Do you believe in the memes? And now we have a chance to end it, and there is one person. Dom? No, I want to see your face. I want to see that computer-generated face before I say what I have to say to you. Dominic Grosek. Mr. Grosek, if that is your real name. Let me see that face of yours. I got something to say to it. Take that mask off. Shave those sideburns. Listen here, bud. This is on you. Game 6 against the Rangers, on the road, you showed up, you got the job done. You have to do it again here, okay? Jesus. Win us this series. Please. For the love of God. Win us this series. Because I'm gonna trust you. Alright? Good talk. Game 6. On the road. Spa day. Let's do it. First period. I want to die. Richie scores the opening goal. Then we see 3 unanswered. Hoglander, Penner, and Farmer. Outshot 18-8. Down 3-1. On the board. We go to the second period. It gets worse. Zadorov and Belfour. Joachim Kamel gets one back on the power play. We have 13 shots in 2 periods to their 36. We are getting spanked. And we go to the third. Power play for the Leafs. And Nasir Kostopoulos scores on the power play. Paul Cato scores on the power play. It's a 1-goal game. Good God, power play. 4-on-3 for Toronto. 5-on-4. 8, 7.5. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30, 20. Damn it. There will be a game 7. Another late surge, and it's just too insurmountable. Well, I guess you can't be too insurmountable because it's just insurmountable means it's insurmountable. It's either 0 or 100%. It's either surmountable or not surmountable. As in insurmountable. We're going to Game 7 is my point. The Western Conference Final. San Jose awaits the winner of Game 7. Both Eastern Conference matchups are going to the 7th game. My little pep talk for Dominic Grosek did not work, but we will live and die by the Grosek. Because we got no choice. Don't talk to me about poise rating either. It's a very, very, very small incremental freaking adjustment that really affects scoring and just overall performance in general, but it doesn't have to do with the playoffs specifically. Damn it. I don't really know what I could do to change up the lines, aside from the fact that the fourth line hasn't really done much. But I don't really know what I could change. You know? I'm just going to swap Kavanagh and Bent. Nope. No, I'm not. We're sticking with it. We are sticking with it. That third pairing has to be split up, though. Has to be. Let's do this. Game 7. Are we Eastern Conference Finals bound? Or are we about to see one hell of a disappointing loss? Let's find out. First period of Game 7 here on home ice is scoreless. The first scoreless first period of this series, if I'm not mistaken. 9 shots to 6. Or 6 shots to 9. Nice. We go to the second, tied at 1. Höglander and Cato on the power play. Third period, Game 7, tied at 1. Here we go. The next goal's oh so important. Power play for the Mariners. Joakim Kemell scores. We have the lead. Still on the power play. Joakim Kemell again. Power play, Brian Appleby. Oh, sweet Jesus, if Grosek blows this. Oh, Daniel Samard scores on Pritchett. It's all over. It is all over. A power play fiesta. And the Mariners of Maine are going to the conference final. Holy God. Joakim Kemell and noted goal scorer Brody Appleby. 4 goals on 10 shots. They only put up 2 shots in that third period. Dominic Grosek, you did it again. That top line of Appleby, Kemell, and Grigorenko is something else. We are going to the Eastern Conference Final. Unbelievable. Absolutely ridiculous, where we will be taking on the New York Islanders. We friggin' survived. Barely. But we survived through the power of Joakim Kemell, Paul Cato, Brody Appleby, Holtz and Grigorenko's doing well. Grigorenko woke up. I said we needed him to, and he did. Because of that, and in part of the other, the effort from others, including Zane Trafford on defense, we're going to the conference final. I mean, there are some areas of concern. You look at some of the plus-minus numbers, which, again, not a great stat, of course, but in this game, it's one of the few things you have to go off of. You look at the save percentage of one Dominic Grosek, which I imagine, and we're going to check this, actually. Every game's been played, right? Yeah, let's see. Out of the goaltenders who have won 8 games, I want to see where Grosek is ranked in terms of save percentage amongst those goaltenders, because we somehow survived Terrell Farmer as well. I can't help but think he's the lowest of the bunch, and he is. Thankfully, the 2 best are over in the Western Conference. It'll be Matt Marshall against Dominic Grosek. Both on the shorter side, too. I was wondering how much height would affect it. Bottom line, we're moving on. Next episode, Eastern Conference Final. Mariners and Islanders. The battle of the aquatic, I guess. Like, that's land versus sea. Battle of the fishermen men.